Christmas morning. How do you think your uncle felt?
Probably not like it was Christmas. You know what, Wolf? I think we need to factor in the idea that Donald never in a million years thought that this could happen to him. And understandably so. This is somebody who has lived his life with total impunity. And for it finally to come, for accountability finally to come after almost 8 decades, must have taken the wind out of him.
As you know, Trump's daughter, Ivanka, your cousin, posted a picture after the verdict came down saying, and I'm quoting her now, "I love you, Dad." We're showing that picture on the screen right now. And a source tells CNN that Ivanka, her husband, Jared Kushner, and Melania Trump, and Barron Trump for that matter, were over at Trump Tower today, despite not attending the actual trial. What do you make of this?
I think that, like all of Donald's relationships, even his relationship with his children is transactional, and that goes both ways. And I think Ivanka made it very clear that she doesn't get enough out of this relationship anymore. She's barely been heard from for months. She could not be bothered to show up at the trial, which is really when you would want to be supporting somebody, right? Not after it's over. So I think it's way too little too late. But that clearly is where they've landed in their relationship at this point.
You told my CNN colleague, Abby Phillip, you think Trump should go to jail. Do you think that would energize his supporters even more?
You know, well, I think it's a possibility, but I also believe that it's irrelevant to the decision Justice Merchan makes. These are decisions that need to be made within the context of the trial and the jury's findings. And if it energizes his base, anything would energize. If he gets any punishment whatsoever, it will energize the base. And what I find fascinating is that we never ask the other question. What will it do to the rest of us who believe in the rule of law if he's not punished appropriately? So whether or not he is imprisoned, I think it's less likely than likely. But I do believe that this is a very serious crime. And we're talking about 34 criminal charges. He's a convicted felon. And whatever the punishment is, it does need to be appropriate to the severity of the crimes he committed.
On Thursday, as you know, in a very different legal case, a New York Court of Appeals ruled that Trump can sue you over your role as a source for the New York Times investigation. Trump argues you broke a confidentiality agreement. What do you know about this?
I don't know too much, except, you know, I disagree, of course, with the court's decision. But we're going to see how it plays out. I guess the next step, if we can't come to a meeting of the minds, would be depositions. And Donald has to decide if it's worth his while. I do not believe that he would be able to get the penalty he's seeking, which last I checked was something like $100 million. So I'm not worried about it, but I do believe that this is something that should have been put to bed a long time ago.
Mary Trump, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it very much.